Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I've got a story that's going to grab you from the very first second and keep you hooked until the end. Picture this. You're in your apartment, minding your own business, maybe changing clothes after a long day. Suddenly the door swings open and a guy stumbles in. He's drunk, he's loud, and oh yeah, he's not just any guy, he's a millionaire CEO who runs half of men. What would you do? Scream? Laugh? Throw something at him? Well, that's exactly where our story begins, and trust me, it only gets wilder from there. Let me set the scene for you. We're in New York City, where the lights never dim and the streets are always buzzing. Meet Emily Carter, a 25-year-old librarian living in a tiny Brooklyn apartment. She's blind, has been since she was a kid, but don't let that fool you. She's tough, independent, and doesn't take nonsense from anyone. Then there's Ethan Hayes, 32, the cold, calculating CEO of Hayes Enterprises, a real estate empire that owns some of the tallest skyscrapers in the city. He's the kind of guy who doesn't smile, doesn't apologize, and definitely doesn't stumble into random apartments. Or so you'd think. One crazy night, their worlds collide in the most unexpected way. Ethan, fresh off a company party and way too many drinks, ends up in the wrong place at the wrong time. He walks right into Emily's life, literally, and what happens next is a roller coaster of chaos, heartbeats and secrets you won't see coming. Imagine the awkwardness, the shouting, the sheer panic of that moment. But here's the kicker. That one messy encounter sparks a chain of events that neither of them could have predicted. This isn't just a story about a drunk guy and a blind girl. It's about two people from totally different worlds, forced together by fate, fighting through drama, danger, and yes, even love. You'll see Emily go from chasing this intruder out with a broom to facing down some of the richest, most ruthless people in New York. You'll watch Ethan, this icy king of the business world, crack open and reveal a past that'll break your heart. And just when you think you've got it all figured out, the ending will hit you like a freight train. I'm serious, you won't believe what happens next. So grab your popcorn, get comfy, because we're diving into a tale of mistaken doors, hidden truths, and a love that defies everything. Have you ever had a moment where one tiny mistake changed your whole life? That's what this story is all about. Stick around until the very last minute, because I promise the twist at the end will leave you speechless. Ready to find out how a drunk CEO and a blind girl turn a disaster? Let's jump right in. All right, let's dive into the story. First, let's meet our two main players. Emily Carter is 25 years old, a quiet soul who works at a small library in Brooklyn. She's got curly brown hair, a sharp tongue, and a spirit that refuses to break. She's been blind since she was 6 after a car accident took her sight, and her parents in one cruel swoop. But Emily doesn't let that define her. She lives alone in a cozy, slightly cluttered apartment, filled with books she reads through Braille and a playlist of jazz she blasts through her earbuds. She's the kind of person who'd rather wrestle with a jammed printer than ask for help. Independent, fierce, and maybe a little stubborn. Now, on the other side of the city, we've got Ethan Hayes. He's 32, the big shot CEO of Hayes Enterprises, a real estate giant that owns half the skyline in Manhattan. Ethan's the guy you'd spot in a sleek black suit, staring out from the top floor of a glass tower, his green eyes cold as steel. He's built an empire with his bare hands, or so the magazines say, but there's something dark lurking behind that polished exterior. He doesn't talk about his past, doesn't smile at his staff, and definitely doesn't stumble around drunk. Well, usually. Ethan's life is all about control, until one night flips everything upside down. It's a Friday evening in late fall, the kind where the air's crisp and the city hums with energy. Ethan's at a company party in Manhattan, celebrating a big deal that just closed. The champagne's flowing, the music's loud, and for once, he lets loose. Too much, maybe. By midnight, he's had one too many glasses, his tie's crooked, and he's done with the crowd. He pulls out his phone, books an Airbnb nearby to crash for the night. Simple plan, right? Except In his blurry haze, he types the wrong address. Instead of a trendy loft near the party, he punches in a random number that lands him in Brooklyn, right outside Emily's building. Cut to Emily. She's home after a long shift, unwinding in her tiny apartment. The walls are thin, the radiator's clanking, but she's in her happy place. She's got her earbuds in, Ella Fitzgerald crooning in her ears, and she's changing out of her work clothes into an old sweatshirt. It's just another night, nothing special. She doesn't hear the footsteps in the hall, doesn't notice the doors unlocked because she forgot to flip the latch after grabbing a delivery earlier. She's lost in her music, totally unaware that trouble's about to barge in. Meanwhile, Ethan stumbles out of a cab, squinting at the building in front of him. It's a modest brick complex, not fancy, but in his state, it looks close enough to the Airbnb he's expecting. He drags himself up the stairs, muttering about overpriced rentals, and finds Emily's door, number 4B. He bangs on it loud and sloppy, shouting, "Hey, I paid $500 for this place. Open the door already." No answer. Emily's oblivious, humming along to her tunes. Ethan, impatient and wobbly, tries the knob. It turns. The door swings open, and there he is, lurching into her living room just as she's pulling off her shirt. Emily freezes. She hears the thud of boots, the slurred voice, and rips out her earbuds. "Who's there?" she yells, clutching her sweatshirt to her chest. Ethan blinks, brain lagging, and mumbles, "What kind of Airbnb host doesn't even greet you?" That's when Emily snaps. Blind or not, she knows an intruder when she hears one. She grabs the nearest thing, a beat-up broom by the couch, and charges at him, swinging wild. "Get out, you creep! I'll call the cops." Ethan's too drunk to dodge properly. He trips over a coffee table, crashes to the floor, and yelps, "Wait, wait! I'm not a thief. This is my room." Emily's not buying it. She jabs the broom at him, shouting, "Your room? This is my apartment, you lunatic." The scene's pure chaos. Ethan's flailing, trying to explain through slurred words. "I booked this place, I swear. Check my phone." Emily's swinging, yelling, "I don't care about your phone. Get out before I break something." It's a mess of shouting and stumbling, and honestly, it's hilarious if you picture it. Emily's broom smacks Ethan's shoulder. He's rolling around like a confused puppy, and the neighbors are probably wondering what's going on. Finally, Ethan scrambles to his feet, still clutching his pride, and staggers out the door, muttering, "Worst host ever, I want a refund." But here's the twist. In his clumsy retreat, his phone slips out of his pocket and lands under Emily's couch. He's gone, the door slams shut, and Emily's left panting, broom in hand, heart racing. She collapses onto the couch, still shaken, trying to process what just happened. That's when she hears it, a faint buzz from under the cushions. She fumbles around, finds the phone, and realizes it's not hers. It's sleek, expensive, vibrating with missed calls. Emily hesitates, then presses a button. The screen lights up even if she can't see it, and a voice message plays. "Ethan, where are you? The board's freaking out. Call me back." She freezes again. Ethan? Who's Ethan, and why does that name sound vaguely familiar, like something she's heard on the news? Back in the cold Brooklyn night, Ethan's halfway down the block before he realizes his phone's missing. He groans, head pounding, but he's too out of it to turn back. He hails a cab, collapses inside, and figures he'll deal with it tomorrow. Little does he know that one drunken mistake just tied him to Emily in a way he can't escape. And Emily, sitting there with his phone, has no idea she's holding the key to a world she never wanted to step into. The next morning arrives with a gray Brooklyn sky and a pounding headache for Ethan Hayes. He wakes up in his penthouse, sprawled across a leather couch, still in last night's rumpled suit. His mouth tastes like regret, and his phone's nowhere to be found. He groans, piecing together the blurry mess of the night before. A building in Brooklyn, a girl with a broom, and a lot of yelling. It's all a haze, but one thing's clear. He left his phone behind, and that phone has everything. Contracts, emails, his whole life. He can't let it sit in some stranger's apartment, especially not with the board meeting looming tomorrow. So, despite the hangover, he drags himself out of bed, calls his driver, and heads back to Brooklyn. Meanwhile, Emily Carter's still reeling from the chaos. She's sitting at her kitchen table, sipping coffee, the stranger's phone resting beside her like a ticking bomb. She didn't sleep much, too rattled by the break-in or whatever that was. She keeps replaying it, the slurred voice, the heavy footsteps, the way he crashed around her living room. Part of her wants to chuck the phone out the window, but curiosity wins. She runs her fingers over it, feeling its sleek edges, and presses a button. Another message plays, sharp and urgent. "Ethan, it's Margaret. Where are you? We need you at the office now." Margaret. Ethan. The names click. Ethan Hayes, the real estate tycoon she's heard about on the radio, the guy who buys up whole blocks and turns them into glass towers. That Ethan Hayes was in her apartment? She laughs, bitter and disbelieving. Of all the people to stumble into her life, it had to be him. Ethan pulls up to her building an hour later, looking less like a CEO and more like a guy who lost a fight with a bottle. His dark hair's a mess, his tie's gone, and his green eyes are bloodshot. He buzzes her apartment, but Emily doesn't answer right away. She's not sure she wants to face him again, not after last night's madness. But the buzzing keeps going, insistent, and she finally relents. She grabs the phone, her broom for good measure, and heads downstairs. When she opens the door, Ethan's standing there, hands in his pockets, trying to look composed. "I think you've got something of mine," he says, voice rough from the night before. Emily holds up the phone, her expression pure ice. "Yeah, and you've got some explaining to do." He starts with an apology, sort of. "Look, I didn't mean to barge in. I was drunk, booked the wrong Airbnb, thought it was my place, I'll pay for any damage." Emily cuts him off, unimpressed. "Damage? You spilled water all over my floor, tripped over my table, and scared me half to death. I don't need your money. I need you to stay out of my life." Ethan blinks, not used to people talking back like that. He notices her eyes, unfocused but sharp, and realizes she's blind. It throws him for a second, but he recovers. "Fair enough. Just give me the phone, and I'm gone." She tosses it at him, harder than necessary, and he fumbles to catch it. "Good riddance," she snaps, turning to go. But fate's not done with him yet. As Ethan checks his phone, a text pops up from his assistant. "Jake Miller's asking about you. Says he's got something big." Jake Miller. Ethan knows that name, a sleazy ex-contractor who's been sniffing around for dirt on Hayes Enterprises. He glances at Emily, already halfway up the stairs, and something clicks. He calls after her, "Wait, you know a Jake Miller?" Emily stops, her hand gripping the railing. Her stomach drops. Jake's her ex, the guy who drained her savings last year with promises of a new life, then vanished. She turns, wary. "Why?" Ethan steps closer, lowering his voice. "Because he's trying to mess with me, and I'm guessing he's messed with you too." Emily hesitates, then nods. "He took everything I had, left me with nothing." Ethan's jaw tightens. He doesn't like loose ends, and Jake's starting to feel like one. "He's working with someone now, someone who wants to take me down. If they're digging into my life, they might come after you too." Emily laughs, sharp and humorless. "Me? I'm nobody. What do they want with a blind librarian?" Ethan shrugs. "You'd be surprised what people use to get leverage." That's when the real trouble starts. A few days later, Emily's at the library, shelving books, when her coworker mentions a guy asking about her. Tall, greasy hair, shifty eyes. Jake. She brushes it off, but unease creeps in. That night, her phone rings, an unknown number. She answers, and it's him. "Hey, Em, heard you met a rich guy. Ethan Hayes, huh? Bet he'd pay a lot to keep you quiet." She hangs up, heart pounding, but the calls keep coming. By the third one, she's furious. She doesn't want Ethan's world anywhere near hers, but Jake's dragging her into it. Ethan, meanwhile, gets his own warning. His stepmother, Sophia Reed, corners him at the office. She's all fake smiles and venom, her red lipstick stark against her pale face. "Heard you been sloppy, Ethan. Crashing into some girl's place. Jake Miller's got pictures, says she's your little secret. Bad look for the company." Ethan's blood runs cold. Pictures. He didn't do anything, but Sophia's already spinning it. She's been gunning for his spot at the top ever since his dad died, pushing her son Ryan as the rightful heir. Ethan brushes her off, but he knows she's not bluffing. Jake's working with her, and Emily's caught in the crossfire. He tracks Emily down again, this time at the library. She's stacking books, her movements precise despite her blindness when he walks in. "We need to talk," he says, keeping his voice low. She spins around, annoyed. "You again? I gave you your phone. What now?" He steps closer, serious. "Jake's after you because of me. He's got my stepmother involved, and they're cooking up some story to ruin me. You're part of it whether you like it or not." Emily's temper flares. "I don't care about your family drama. Leave me out of it." Ethan doesn't back down. "I would, but they won't. They'll come for you next. I can stop them, but I need your help." She's torn. Every instinct tells her to walk away, but Jake's voice on the phone keeps echoing in her head. She knows he's ruthless, knows he won't stop. Finally, she sighs. "Fine, what do you want me to do?" Ethan pulls out a business card, presses it into her hand. "Meet me tomorrow. We'll figure out how to shut him down." She takes it, reluctant, feeling the raised text under her fingers. "This better work," she mutters. He nods. "It will." That same night, Ethan's mother, Margaret Hayes, calls him home to the family mansion in upstate New York. She's waiting in the study, silver hair pulled tight, her voice clipped. "Ethan, we've got a problem. Sophia's spreading rumors about you and some girl. The board's asking questions." Ethan explains, keeping it short. "It's a mix-up. I'm handling it." Margaret's not convinced. "Handle it faster. Marry her if you have to. We can't afford a scandal, not with Ryan circling like a vulture." Ethan stares, incredulous. "Marry her? She hates me." Margaret's eyes narrow. "Then make her not hate you. Or I'll cut you out of the will. Your choice." Ethan leaves, fuming. Marriage? To Emily? The girl who chased him with a broom? It's insane. But Margaret's threat lingers. Back in Brooklyn, Emily's tracing that card with her fingertips, wondering what she's gotten into. She doesn't trust Ethan, doesn't want his money or his problems. But Jake's shadow looms large. They're enemies, sure, but necessity's pulling them together, and deep down, neither of them knows it's just the beginning. Ethan and Emily's uneasy alliance kicks into gear the next day. They meet at a quiet coffee shop in Brooklyn, tucked between a bodega and a laundromat. Emily's there first, sitting in a corner booth, her fingers tapping nervously on a chipped mug. She's still not sure about this, teaming up with a guy she barely knows, let alone trusts. Ethan walks in, looking sharper than last time, his suit crisp, his green eyes clear. He slides into the seat across from her, skipping the small talk. "Jake's working with my stepmother, Sophia. They're planning to leak a story. Say you're pregnant with my kid. Make it look like I'm hiding some dirty secret." Emily's jaw drops, then snaps shut. "Pregnant? That's insane. I've met you twice, and one of those times I was swinging a broom at you." Ethan smirks, just for a second. "Yeah, well, truth doesn't matter to them. Scandal does." She leans back, processing. "So what's the plan?" Ethan lays it out. "We dig up dirt on Jake first. He's got a record, petty theft, fraud. If we can prove he's lying, Sophia's story falls apart." Emily nods, slow and reluctant. "Okay, but if this blows up, I'm not the one cleaning up your mess." Ethan meets her gaze, or what he guesses is her gaze, since her eyes don't quite focus. "Deal. Let's move fast." They spend the next hour hashing out details, Ethan calling contacts, Emily giving him every scrap she remembers about Jake. It's tense, but it works. They're a team now, whether they like it or not. Back at Hayes Enterprises, Sophia reads, plotting hard. She's in her office, a sleek space with floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking Manhattan. Her son Ryan lounges on a couch nearby, scrolling his phone, all smug confidence. He's 28, lean and sharp-featured, with his mother's calculating edge. Sophia's on the phone with Jake, her voice low and cutting. "You've got the photos from that night? Good. Doctor them if you have to, make it look real." She hangs up, turns to Ryan. "Once this hits the press, Ethan's done. The board won't back a loose cannon. You'll step in, take the company." Ryan grins. "About time. He's been playing king too long." Sophia's lips curl. "Just keep your head down. We can't have blowback." Meanwhile, Margaret Hayes isn't sitting idle. She summons Ethan to the family mansion again, a sprawling estate in upstate New York with manicured lawns and a stone facade. She's in the dining room sipping tea when he walks in. "Sophia's moving against you," she says, no preamble. "She's got Jake Miller stirring the pot. Marry that girl, Ethan. Spin it as a love story. Kill the rumors." Ethan's patience snaps. "I'm not marrying anyone, especially not some stranger I met by accident. I'll handle Sophia my way." Margaret sets her cup down, hard. "Your way's too slow. I won't let this family's legacy crumble because you're stubborn. Marry her or you're out." Ethan storms off, slamming the door. He's not bending, not yet. Days pass, and the pressure mounts. Emily's at home one evening, sorting through Braille notes, when her phone buzzes again. It's Jake, his voice oily and smug. "You're in deep now, Em. Hanging with Ethan Hayes? I've got pics, you two looking cozy, gonna make a fortune off this." She grips the phone, furious. "You're bluffing. There's nothing to see." He laughs. "Oh, there will be. Watch yourself." The line goes dead, and Emily's stomach twists. She calls Ethan, voice tight. Jake's escalating, says he's got photos. Ethan's at his desk late at night, city lights glinting through the window. He's full of it. "We've got something on him, bank records showing he's been paid by Sophia. We just need to tie it together." But Sophia's one step ahead. She's got Jake tailing Emily, digging for leverage. One afternoon, Emily's walking home from the library, her cane tapping the sidewalk, when Jake grabs her arm. "Hey, Em, let's talk." She pulls away, heart racing. "Leave me alone, Jake." He doesn't. He drags her toward a car, muttering about a payday. She swings her cane, catches him in the shin, and bolts, stumbling through the crowd. She makes it home, breathless, locks the door, and calls Ethan. "He tried to grab me. I got away, but he's not stopping." Ethan's voice hardens. "Stay put. I'm coming." He shows up an hour later, jaw clenched. "This ends now. We're taking Jake down." Emily's shaken, but nods. "How?" Ethan pulls out his laptop, shows her audio files he can't play for her yet. "Recordings. My guy caught Jake bragging about the setup. We leak this, he's toast." Emily's skeptical. "And Sophia?" Ethan's eyes darken. "She's next." They're deep in it now, no turning back. That's when the real storm hits. Sophia and Ryan up the ante. They don't just want Ethan out, they want him broken. Ryan's got a plan. Whispered to Sophia in her office. "We grab the girl, scare her off. She's the weak link." Sophia agrees. "Do it clean, no traces." 2 nights later, Emily's leaving the library late. The air cold and still. A van pulls up, quiet and fast. Before she can react, hands grab her, a cloth presses over her mouth, and she's out. She wakes up in a basement. The air thick with a faint hiss. Gas. Her wrists are tied, her cane's gone, and panic sets in. She can't see, but she feels the danger, hears the slow leak somewhere nearby. Ethan's at home when he gets the call. Unknown number, distorted voice. "Your girl's in trouble, better hurry." He doesn't hesitate. He dials 911, gives the basics, but he's not waiting. He grabs his keys, speeds toward Brooklyn, mind racing. He knows Sophia's behind this, knows Ryan's the muscle. He calls his security guy, gets a lead. A property Sophia owns on the edge of the city, a mansion with a basement. That's where she is. He floors it, breaking every speed limit, heart pounding louder than the engine. Emily's fighting to stay calm. She's blind, but her other senses kick in. She smells the gas, feels the rope cutting into her skin. She twists her wrists, working the knots, every second counting. The hiss grows louder and her head's getting fuzzy. She doesn't know how long she's got, but she's not giving up. She thinks of Jake, of Sophia, of Ethan, and anger fuels her. She won't let them win. Ethan screeches to a stop outside the mansion, a hulking shadow in the dark. He runs to the back, finds a basement window, smashes it with a rock. The glass shatters and he climbs through, coughing as gas hits his lungs. He spots Emily slumped against a wall, still struggling. "Emily?" he shouts, voice raw. She jerks her head toward him, weak but alive. "Ethan?" He rushes over, unties her, but the gas is thick now, stinging his eyes. He grabs a pipe wrench from the floor, swings at the leaking valve, shutting it off. The hiss stops, but he's dizzy, swaying. That's when Ryan steps in, a shadow in the doorway. "You're too late," he says, holding a lighter. Ethan lunges, tackling him. They crash into the wall, fists flying, the lighter skittering across the floor. Ryan's strong, but Ethan's desperate. He lands a punch, then another, and Ryan goes down, groaning. Ethan stumbles back to Emily, pulls her up. "We've got to go." She's fading, leaning on him, but she nods. He half carries her up the stairs, out into the night, collapsing on the grass as sirens wail in the distance. They're safe, barely. Emily's coughing, clinging to him, and something shifts. She can't see, but she feels his arms, hears his ragged breathing. Then it happens. Her head throbs, a sharp jolt and light floods in. Not much, just shapes, shadows, but it's there. Her vision, buried for years, flickers back, sparked by the adrenaline, the fear, the fight. She blinks, stunned, and the first thing she makes out is Ethan's face, bloodied, bruised, staring at her with wild relief. "You okay?" he gasps. She nods, voice trembling. "I think I can see you." The night air is cold and sharp as Ethan and Emily collapse onto the grass outside the mansion. Sirens grow louder, red and blue lights flashing through the trees. Ethan's still catching his breath, one arm around Emily, his shirt torn and streaked with dirt. She's trembling, her hands clutching his sleeve, but her eyes, those eyes that haven't seen a thing in years, are wide open. She blinks hard, trying to make sense of the blurry shapes. Ethan's face comes into focus, rough with stubble, a cut above his eyebrow dripping blood. It's messy, chaotic, but it's the first thing she's seen since she was a kid. "I can see you," she whispers again, voice shaky with disbelief. Ethan stares at her, stunned. "What?" She nods, a small laugh escaping. "It's fuzzy, but yeah, I can see." Paramedics swarm in, pulling them apart. Ethan's barking at them to check her first, his voice hoarse but firm. They wrap her in a blanket, shine a light in her eyes, and confirm it. Her vision's coming back, a miracle sparked by the adrenaline rush. Ethan's hauled onto a stretcher, protesting the whole way, but he's too banged up to fight. As they're loaded into separate ambulances, he catches her gaze across the chaos, and for the first time, she looks back. It's brief, fleeting, but it's real. Something shifts between them, unspoken and heavy. The next few months blur by. Emily's in and out of hospitals, her sight improving bit by bit. It's not perfect, never will be, just shadows and outlines, but it's more than she ever dreamed. Ethan's a constant presence, showing up with coffee, hovering in doorways, making sure she's okay. He doesn't say much, just sits there, a quiet anchor. She starts to notice things about him. The way his jaw tightens when he's stressed, the faint scar on his knuckles. He's not the drunk idiot who crashed into her life anymore. He's something else, something she can't quite name. Sophia and Ryan face the fallout. The cops tie them to the kidnapping, gas leak evidence sealing their fate. Jake flips on them fast, spilling everything for a lighter sentence. Ethan's name stays clear, and Hayes Enterprises weathers the storm. Margaret backs off her marriage threats, satisfied the family's intact. But Ethan's not celebrating. He's too focused on Emily, on what's growing between them. They don't talk about it, not yet, but it's there in the way he lingers, the way she doesn't push him away. A year later, Emily's pregnant. It's unexpected, a shock after everything. They've been together, cautious and slow, building something real from the wreckage. She finds out at a routine checkup, the doctor beaming as she stumbles over the words. "Twins," he says, "a boy and a girl." Ethan's there, holding her hand, and for once he's speechless. They marry quietly, no fanfare, just a courthouse and a couple witnesses. It's not the grand fix Margaret wanted, but it's theirs. The twins arrive early, a frantic delivery that leaves Emily drained. She's in the hospital bed, pale and fragile, cradling two tiny bundles. Ethan's beside her, eyes red from exhaustion, marveling at them. A boy with his dark hair, a girl with Emily's curls. They're perfect. But the doctor pulls Ethan aside later, voice low. She's weak. The pregnancy took a lot out of her. She can't have more kids, and she'll need care, rest, for a long time. Ethan nods, swallowing hard. Whatever she needs, she's got it. Recovery's slow. Emily's home now, in a bigger apartment Ethan insisted on. Closer to the city, but still Brooklyn. She's tougher than she looks, but the twins changed her body, left her fragile in ways she hates admitting. She's feeding them one afternoon, sunlight streaming through the window, when she feels Ethan watching. He's leaning in the doorway, quiet as ever. "You don't have to stare," she says, half teasing. He steps closer, sits beside her. "Can't help it, you're good at this." She smiles, tired but warm. "So are you." Weeks pass and the weight of it all creeps in. Emily's up late one night, the twins asleep, Ethan sprawled on the couch with a laptop. She's been thinking, wrestling with something big. She sets her mug down, takes a breath. "Ethan, we need to talk." He looks up, instantly alert. "What's wrong?" She hesitates, then pushes forward. "I heard the doctor. I know I'm not the same. I can't give you more kids, can't be what I was. You shouldn't have to stick around for this." Ethan's brow furrows. "What are you saying?" She meets his gaze, or tries to, her vision still patchy. "I'm saying you deserve more. We can end this, let you find someone else, someone whole." He's quiet for a long moment, too long, and she braces herself. Then he sets the laptop aside, moves closer, his voice steady but fierce. "Emily, stop. I don't want someone else. I don't care about more kids, or what you can't do. I've got you, these two, and that's it. That's all I need." She shakes her head, tears welling. "But you could have a normal life, not this, not me holding you back." He takes her hands, firm but gentle. "Normal. I grew up in a slum, fighting to survive. Nothing about me's normal. You think I'd trade you for some easy life? I'd rather be here, with you like this, than anywhere else." She pulls back, voice breaking. "You say that now, but what about later, when it's hard, when I'm a burden?" Ethan doesn't flinch. "I've handled hard. I was 5 when they took me, locked me in a basement, left me to rot. I clawed my way out. You're not a burden. You're the reason I'm still standing. I can take this, forever if I have to." He pauses, softer now. "I love you, Emily. That's not changing." She stares at him, tears spilling over. His face is blurry, but she sees it, the truth in his eyes. She's spent so long fighting alone, pushing people away, but he's not budging. She wipes her cheeks, voice small. "You're an idiot, you know that?" He laughs, rough and genuine. "Yeah, well, you married me." She leans into him, exhausted but lighter, and he wraps an arm around her. The twins stir in their cribs, tiny sounds filling the room, and for a moment it's peaceful. They stay like that, tangled together, building something new. It's not perfect. Emily's health won't fully recover, and Ethan's past still haunts him. But they've got this, a fragile, stubborn love that holds them up. Months later, they're on the roof one evening, the city sprawling below. Emily's holding the girl, Ethan's got the boy, and they're watching the sunset, or what she can make of it. "Think they'll be okay?" she asks, voice quiet. Ethan nods, sure as ever. "They've got us. They'll be fine." Time moves on. The twins grow, toddling around the apartment, and Ethan's there through it all, steady and unshaken. Emily's sight never gets better, but it doesn't get worse, and she learns to live with it. They fight sometimes, laugh more, and build a life from the ashes of that wild night. It's not the fairy tale ending, not clean or simple, but it's theirs. And then there's the hook, the shadow lurking. One day, Ethan gets a letter, no return address, just a single line. "I know what you did." He stares at it, face pale, and Emily doesn't see, not yet. But that's a story for another time. And there you have it, the story of Emily and Ethan, two people who stumbled into each other's lives in the wildest way possible and somehow built something beautiful out of the chaos. From that drunken night in Brooklyn to the rooftop with their twins, it's been a journey full of heart, danger, and a love that refused to break. Emily went from chasing Ethan out with a broom to seeing his face for the first time in that basement, and Ethan went from a cold CEO to a man who'd give up everything for her. It's messy, it's real, and it's the kind of story that sticks with you. But it's not over yet. That letter Ethan got, the one that said, "I know what you did," it's hanging there like a storm cloud. What does it mean? Is it tied to his past? Those dark years he barely talks about? Could it unravel everything they've fought for? I've got ideas brewing, and I want to hear yours too. What do you think's coming next for them? Will they face it together, or will it tear them apart? If this story made you laugh at Emily's broom skills, gasp during that basement rescue, or tear up when Ethan said he'd stay forever, then please hit that like button. It means the world to me and keeps these stories coming. Don't forget to subscribe and tap that bell icon so you're the first to know when the next chapter drops. I'm dying to dive deeper into Ethan's secret, and I bet you are too. Head down to the comments and tell me what you think. Did Ethan's choice to stick by Emily melt your heart? Are you Team Emily all the way? Or maybe you've got a wild guess about that letter. I read every single one, and I'd love to see your thoughts. Share this with a friend who loves a good romance with a twist, and let's get them hooked too. Thanks for being here, for riding this roller coaster with me. Until next time, keep believing in love, even the messy kind. See you soon.